What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Robski. It is August 23rd, 2020, and today I'm coming with yet another book review. I'm going to review, now I've read this guy's work. I've been reading this guy's work for the last 5 months, and I've shot through like 5 of his books. It's amazing how good this guy is at making something very basic, very, very interesting because, again, I am one of the first millennials, and I was born in '84, which is one of the older millennials. And this guy is just one of the. He's definitely a red pill guy. And he's very congruent. He's very on point with typical problems, and it's just like he's speaking to me because I feel like that he knows exactly what I've been through. He knows exactly about getting brainwashed, going into student loan debt for bullcrap degrees and bullcrap classes for bullcrap professors. The man, again, is Aaron Clarey, and I've already done a book of his. I believe it was Enjoy the Decline. I'm also going to do Worthless, but this one is called How Not to Become a Millennial, which is funny because by definition I am a millennial, and I've ripped on my own generation. Now our generation, it does have some good stuff. I would say maybe the social media from a business standpoint, I mean, whether you like social media or not, because I'm not a social media guy, but it has created revenue and generated things for other people. But again, this book, How Not to Become a Millennial, by, of course, the man himself, Aaron Clarey. I hope one day I get to meet this man because he has spoken to me. He has changed my life, and I don't feel so bad about the mistakes that I have made personally. Enjoy the Decline is about how it's like the way our political situation is in this country, and the way that we've kind of lost. And I don't care if you absolutely hate traditional culture or not. I don't care if you hate traditional families or wife, dog, house, picket fence, everyone dressed up for church, regardless of what you identify as, or what your sexuality is, or what religion you are. That part of time in our history, there were, after reading Clarey's work and kind of just doing an analysis, that was a very special time. And it really, I could say this, like, I feel like that it gave men an incentive to do things well, like work hard, do well at work, become a productive citizen. It gave you a sense, and see, this is, I think, what the problem with my generation, especially with young men, millennial and Gen Z, and I know I definitely went through this, is it gave you a sense of purpose and identity. Like back in the day, you join things like the Elks Club, you go to picnics with your coworkers, and we just don't do anything like that today. Today it's all done online, and the problem is it's like we're just talking, like right now I could potentially be talking to millions of people, but I'm just talking to a screen. Everything's digital, and the problem with that is that humans are designed to be with other humans. Clarey says this all the time. He says the best thing, the most important thing on earth is other human beings. Also, though, the most disgusting, disturbing things on planet Earth are other human beings. Kind of a catch-22 paradox, if you will. Okay, but anyways, get back to the point. Enjoy the Decline is about the decline of the Western civilization. After the 50s happened, the baby boomers took over, and what I know now, especially with the red pill community, Stefan Molyneux, Clarey, Richard Cooper, they talk about the baby boomers a lot, and the baby boomers are actually to blame for a lot of the millennials' problems. Okay, hear me out. The baby boomers paid very, very little for college. College was worth something back then, and they started, like Clarey says, and this part of Enjoy the Decline is the baby boomers started the divorce. Okay, so you have the 1950s era, you have the 1940s, you have the Greatest Generation. They were more family oriented. They were very very basic. They looked presentable, and there wasn't any of this. Like you could say, this is good, or you didn't have to do all these like, I identify as this or I identify as that bull crap. It was just it was what it was. Well, what happened was the 60s came, and then the baby boomers took over, and then they started the whole free love and divorce and things like that. What happened was they basically took the traditional family out of the picture, and it just slowly, like you don't see it, you don't see it for maybe 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 years, but eventually that, once that happened, it just, things got worse and worse, and families got, separated, and then now what we have today, which is a, I don't know, like if you look at, if you want to say like biblical times, it's just not like, it's that part is over. It's ancient history. It's not how it works anymore. People getting married, divorced and remarried 3 to 5 times. It's not like a sin anymore. Well, it is, but it's not frowned upon, and it's like, okay, so all this stuff's cool, you can love who you love and all that, but what that does, I mean, and like I said, you might think that that's the way to go, but what that does is it takes away the family unit, it takes away the family structure, and a lot of bad things happen. So that's basically what Enjoy the Decline was. Talks about how in the first chapter of Enjoy the Decline, it talks about how the Jews were in between Western and Eastern Germany, and they were about ready to die. And instead of pouting and acting all whiny, they did the opposite. They started partying, and that's what Enjoy the Decline's kind of about, is to enjoy the show. Enjoy the riots, enjoy the looting, enjoy all this, because back in the 50s that stuff wouldn't have happened, because people were in traditional family households. They understand manners. They understood you can't have everything you want. You have to work for things. You can't take people's property. You can't destroy things like we have today, and it's never going to be going back. So it is what it is. But anyways, how not to become a millennial. And as you can see here, he got I love Clarey, but you got like a nuclear blast on one part. You can see that. You got Joseph Stalin. You got Adolf Hitler. You got all this stuff. And what he's trying to say is he's trying to show you things of the past that they're kind of relevant today. And the first thing he talks about, again, with how not to become a millennial, is kind of, he talks a lot about the education system and the brainwashing, and he talks about kind of the softness. Clarey talks about, Clarey's a guy, he rides motorcycles, he hikes, you don't want to become a tub of video game goo, which he calls it. And he talks about how to not do these things, how not to get into debt, how not to, buy stuff that's just so you can be a dude bro, how not to do, like, make work, touchy feely stuff, how not to major in the wrong stuff. And I'm telling you, if I fell because I didn't open my eyes, because I wasn't red pill in my early 20s. I wasn't really red pilled. I say I wasn't really truly red pilled until a couple of years ago, but I kind of could see it coming. I kind of knew what I was doing was wrong. I kind of knew that this stuff didn't matter, but I just wasn't. I didn't have the balls to say it. I was like, well, I'll just go with the crowd. Clarey talks about in this book, How Not to Become a Millennial, is how to not to go that path, not to be one of the sheeple, how to do things like they did back in the day, how to learn a skill, learn mechanics, learn welding, learn the trades, learn all this stuff, Another thing I like what he talks about is He talks about the sexual market a little bit. And that's the thing is, these whole movements, these whole isms, feminism, racism, all these isms, they're part of the woke media, and the woke media is another part that destroyed the family unit. And again, it's okay. I mean, I'm fine for change. I'm all about being progressive, but it's like, what's my purpose now? And once Clarey, Clarey in this book, he talks about, these kind of like government tax jobs, and they really don't produce much to society. I'm right there with him, man. I mean, the best thing that I ever did for society was to become a wildland firefighter. And the reason why I became a wildland firefighter was because it was something I did in the summer. But little did I know that was the best thing. That was better than any form of athletics beyond high school that I could have. I mean, it was. I got paid to do a service, so that's another thing is anytime that you're getting paid, that society saying that you are providing a service, you're good at this. This is what you should be doing. We're going to pay you for it, okay? So that's why you don't want to hate on people making lots of money and things like that, because typically what we're finding out, especially according to Clarey, and this is why I truly believe, is I believe that most people that get their money deserve their money now. And the reason why is because it's Clarey describes this. It's like, somebody who's sitting in a Harvard classroom is not providing value to a society, where somebody who's doing a quote-unquote menial, somebody's working at a fast food company, somebody who's working the counter at Burger King or McDonald's is providing more value than some Harvard student. Okay? Some Harvard law student even, okay? And the reason why is because a Harvard law student is not getting paid. They are taking resources. They are not giving resources. If somebody's working at Burger King, McDonald's, the society is willingly paying them. It's not taxed money. It's here's the exchange, okay? And so, like I said, in How Not to Become a Millennial, he kind of explains the exchanges and how we look at things. And now I look at things through a different scope. But guys, like, even it's just free speech is under attack in this country. That's a real thing. Millennial got banned from YouTube and all that, and these guys are critical because they'll tell you the truth. Okay, here's the first chapter. The largest American social experiment. He talked about the Millennials. Okay, in that first chapter, he talks about kind of we're gonna make this utopia. We're gonna put more people go to college. More people went to college, and the values went down, and then the education bubble happened. He saw this. Another thing he talks about is what services in society, what professions are actually valid, what services provide value, and what are kind of like the fake pseudo service types. That's why, like, Clarey worked in banking for a while, and it really opened my eyes to kind of how that business works. I'm really motivated to learn an IT or cybersecurity skill, because Clarey talks about how valuable that is, how you can kind of set your own terms and things like that. Anyways, he also talks about priorities in this book. At the end of the day, the most valuable thing in your life is going to be humans. I can attest this because my grandmother just passed away 4 or 5 days ago, and now she's gone forever in the physical realm of things. Now, as a spiritual person, I believe that she's not gone forever, but once you lose those you can't get them back. My truck out there is replaceable. All my physical stuff's replaceable. Humans are irreplaceable. And he talks about in this book. Overall, I give it a 5 out of 5. I love Clarey's work. I'm reading Reconnaissance Man right now, and I think Clarey. Every millennial should read Clarey. Every Gen Zer should read Clarey. Every kid in high school should read Clarey. You could save them thousands of dollars in the future. Like I said, great reading. Guys, read Clarey's books. I would start with The Joy to Decline because that's the one I started with. But then after that, I would read either Worthless or this one, How to Not to Become a Millennial. All right, that's Rob Ski with another book report. You guys have a great day in YouTube land.